Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Mystery Loop. In this video, we delve into a tragic expedition set against the backdrop of one of the world's most extreme environments, Death Valley National Park. It is the harrowing story of Alexander Lofgren and Emily Henkel, a couple seeking peace in nature who were instead plunged into a terrifying 6-day fight for survival. In early April 2021, Alexander Lofgren, a 32-year-old U.S. Army veteran and dedicated caseworker for veterans benefits, and his fiancée, 27-year-old Emily Henkel, set out for a camping trip in Death Valley, living in Arizona. The couple shared a deep love for solitude and nature, and spent ample time exploring the American Southwest. Lofgren was known for camping in remote areas, and they brought camping gear, jugs of water, and at least one day's worth of food. But the next day, April 4th, would begin the biggest nightmare of their lives. Their trouble began around 5:30 p.m. on April 3rd. They were driving their Subaru Forester, a vehicle built for rugged terrain, along Gold Valley Road. This was an unpaved, four-wheel drive road, cutting a solitary path through the park's backcountry. Suddenly they heard two loud pops. They stopped the vehicle and found that both passenger side tires had been punctured by a rock in the road. They were instantly stranded. They had only one spare tire and were 22 miles from a main road with no cell phone service, no shade, and no water in sight. Using maps and books, they plotted their escape. They packed a day pack, liters of water, a couple of bags of tuna each, and a survival kit for the trek ahead. Before leaving the Subaru, they fortified the vehicle with indications they were stranded. They left a crucial note stating, 2 flat tires, headed to Mormon Point, have 3 days worth of water. They also laid rocks on the ground in the shape of an arrow pointing toward their chosen route. The couple decided against hiking the 22 miles back the way they came. Instead, they chose to trek toward Mormon Point through a mountain pass on a designated trail, hoping help would be closer. They set off in the darkness of the desert around 4 a.m. the next day. The path soon required crossing through a canyon with steep drops. Around 8 a.m., they spotted a geocache, providing a semblance of hope that the trail was well traveled. But the trail quickly increased in difficulty, leading them into a slot canyon, where huge rock walls towered over them. A mile down the path, they reached their dire realization. They were faced with a 70-foot waterfall, a solid drop down. They realized this was an established climbing route requiring rope and harnesses. Equipment they tragically did not have. Alex, looking for any way down, proceeded to climb the cliff, using boulders as natural steps. Emily nervously looked on, urging him to take no unnecessary risks, but Alex soon came to a standstill. He yelled that he couldn't find a way down and was attempting to work his way back up. Then, the worst possible thing happened. Alex yelled, "I lost my grip." Emily, horrified, watched as he fully lost his grip moments later. He fell 70 feet down the waterfall. By some miracle, Alex was still alive and yelled to Emily to get help, but with no easy way down, Emily made a quick and potentially deadly decision. She saw a steep body crack in the rock on the left side of the canyon. Knowing her life was at risk, she managed to get onto the left side of the canyon, gripping both sides of the crack. With approximately 30 feet left to reach the ground, she let go, landing on her feet. The force instantly snapped her ankle in half. Adrenaline numbing the pain, her only concern was Alex. She made her way to him. Alex Lofgren had succumbed to his injuries, passing away on Easter Sunday, April 4th, 2021. Emily was now trapped alone. To her despair, she realized they had fallen onto a cliff midway down, with another 100-foot drop off the ledge. Without any means of escape, she was stuck in a dire situation in one of the hottest places on Earth. With Alex's body nearby, she took stock of her supplies, water, food, and a survival kit containing a Mylar emergency blanket and a solar charger. She managed to keep her phone charged, using it to jot down her thoughts, documenting her horrifying ordeal. In a personal journal entry on April 7th, 2021, Emily wrote, "I will get through this. I can do hard things. These hard things will make me better and stronger. Please let me fulfill the rest of my life on this earth. Please let me use this for good. Please send me a blessing, any blessing, and I pray so hard that soon my rescue will come." Despite the rising panic and her worsening injuries, Emily knew that her chances of being found were painfully small. She was trapped in one of the most remote corners of Death Valley, surrounded by silence, heat, and steep canyon walls. To survive, she built a strict daily routine. At midday, when the sun burned directly into the canyon, she diverted water from the small waterfall to cool her towel and clothes, fighting to keep her body temperature from climbing too high. She sheltered in a narrow rock alcove she fortified herself, and every evening she carefully repaired her flimsy mylar blanket with band-aids, her only defense against the desert sun by day and freezing wind by night. Meanwhile, search efforts intensified. Rangers checked hotels, scanned highways, and reviewed their backcountry log, but nothing pointed to their exact location. The breakthrough finally came on April 8th, when their white Subaru was discovered abandoned off Gold Valley Road. A note inside redirected efforts toward Mormon Point, Emily's last hope. That same morning, she heard a helicopter echoing through the canyon. She waved the mylar blanket frantically. They saw her, but couldn't land. Hours later, a drone hovered overhead, its light flickering like a silent promise that someone knew she was alive. On April 9th, Navy rescue teams attempted a hoist, but the canyon was too tight and dangerous. For 20 tennis minutes, they fought the wind and the rock walls before two rescuers finally managed to rappel down to her. Emily was secured into a stretcher and lifted into the air. Below her, the endless tan cliffs and empty desert stretched into the horizon. 6 days of fear, pain, and endurance. Finally coming to an end, Alex was discovered on a steep ledge nearby, and his body was later transferred to the Inyo County coroner. Emily spent 6 days in the hospital undergoing emergency surgery. Her decision to keep her shoes on, even with a shattered ankle, saved her foot. After returning home, the trauma of the experience and the loss of Alex changed the direction of her life. 8 months later, in his honor, the Alexander Lofgren Veterans and Parks Act became law, granting lifelong free access to national parks for veterans and Gold Star families. The story of Alex and Emily serves as a sobering reminder of how unforgiving the wilderness can be. Even well-prepared travelers can be brought to the edge with one wrong turn, one mechanical failure, or one isolated canyon that swallows all sound. Emily survived because of discipline, knowledge, and an unbreakable will to live. She endured heat, injury, isolation, and heartbreak, refusing to give up even when the desert seemed determined to silence her. If this story stayed with you and you want more real stories from the edge of human endurance, subscribe and stay tuned to The Mystery Loop.